Welcome to the channel, 831 Avo. Today live in Santa Cruz, California. Check it out with some Southern California grown gems. These are going to be, I think, what they officially call the 3-gallon sleeve. The grow bags. In comparison to a 5. But again, that's not 5-gallon. That's a number 5 nursery container. It's nominal. Again, it's going to be somewhere around 3.5. And this one here is a Carmen. Someone just asked about them, but these ones right here are going to be a delivery. Someone requested them. These are going out to Salinas, California. I love Salinas. Shout out to the 831. Aquí andamos. Special shout out to George Sanchez. He requested these right here. So ahí te van, bro. But you guys already know my number one recommendation always. Go natural paint. Originally it was a tree trunk white, but I dropped some pigment in it for a more natural look. And that's going to be Dad's slippers. So aquí andamos. Dad's slippers. Puro guaracho, ya saben. So you want to water it down. If you go straight, it'll crack and fall off. You need to mix it with water so it'll stretch. And then take a look at the fruit. To the two people, one person tuned in, we're whitewashing these gems right now. When's the best time to grow an avocado tree or plant an avocado tree? Last year, because they keep going up in price. These right here, Southern California, 16 a pop at wholesale. So, but take a look at the fruit. Again, let me give you guys that profile. It looks like here it is, the flat spot that I'm talking about. It's always gonna look like the gem's always gonna look like a water drop, but they're gonna have a flat side. There, you can see it better with my finger. So yeah, once again, this is gem grown locally in Corralitos, California. This fruit is via Bobcat Ridge Avocados. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken. So check it out. And then of course the gem is gonna be Hass-like. It'll mature dark. It's dark ripening, but those gold little freckles and specks are gonna remain. Okay. This is a little bit of the thrip damage, but it's all right. The fruit's gonna be good. Measure these early, just so you know where it's at. They're gonna be around there. That one, 37 inches. So about a yard. And this one the same. I pick the best ones always. This one a little shorter, 36. 36, but multilateral. Okay. Multilateral. Super Shrimp Yakuza said hi. Welcome to the channel. The avocados and shrimp, bro, fire. But yeah, these are avocados. Yeah, these trees I'm about to whitewash it. Again, very little water. Very little water. And it's gonna be like 3 or 4 brush strokes of this. Let me get to it. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll go 1 extra just for a thicker coat. Lane the artist said hi. Welcome. What are we doing? These are gem avocado trees. Again, GEM, like a precious stone. And these are poised to replace Hass commercially. They're going high density. Wherever there was previously 1 Hass, they're coming in with 2 gems. These are going to be upright compact trees, like 12 to 16 feet. Check out the fruit. The fruit is Hass-like, but bigger. So despite their compact size, they're going to be bigger. And again, they're less alternate bearing, more consistent, self-fruitful type A's. Look out for these gem again. And the most important part about the gem, that the patent expired in 2023. So we're free to propagate it without owing anybody licensing fees or royalties. So okay, here's a whitewash. All right. So first is the central leader, the main trunk, and just do the limbs. Don't do the leaves or the leaf stems. Okay, you just want to paint again the main trunk and then the lateral branches to prevent from sun scalding. Summer's coming, but then in the winter it also serves as a blanket for the cold snaps. So protecting on both ends, on both extremes, both high and low. Keep mixing it, keep mixing it. First I paint it all the way up, and then I'll end up doing like a 180-degree turn on the tree to see it from a different angle. But again, you're just trying to maximize the exposure, the paint coverage, I'm sorry, maximize paint coverage. It's all right if you leave it a little bit exposed. Wherever there's deep foliage towards the tip, I sometimes tend to leave it. Chile de Garcia, buenas noches, bro. Pero aquí ya sabes, con el gem por encargo, bro. So just a quick little whitewash, just for protection so they don't fail. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, bro. Good night. Hey, I hope your gem's doing well. I hope your gem fruit set was good this year. They're saying 2026 was a good year for fruit set. I hope you're seeing the same thing. This is also going to be a pretty tree. The leaves don't get that tip burn like a Hass. So it's a much prettier tree for us home growers, especially for a front yard. Jem's mom is Gwen. Jem's sister is Lamb Hass. Undersides, not so much. Don't worry too much about it. John, welcome to this. Welcome. Right here, whitewashing 2 gems. These were a request, and I'm going to deliver them tomorrow. They're going to Salinas, California. The salad bowl, soon to be the guac bowl. Good evening. Thank you for joining the live stream. Any questions, let me know, bro. Fire away. But yeah, mostly with self-fruitful type A's. Again, the leading variety, upright compact tree. Favorite tree is the Gem. Then I'm gonna go Carmen. Then I'm gonna go Gwen. Gwen's a little tricky though, not a beginner's tree. And then Lamb, and then Reed for the big Guatemalan cannonballs. But all those are self-fruitful type A's. We don't do B. I don't do B's here in the Central Coast. I rather double up on 2 self-fruitful type A's, and they will help cross-pollinate. And then if you need a Hass, if you have a Hass, because a lot of people go Hass, because it's the most common variety. Hass does need a cross-pollinator, but again, I'm not doing a B. I'll go with the self-fruitful type A, and again, I've been seeing that a Gem cross-pollinates a Hass, a Lamb cross-pollinates a Hass, a Gwen cross-pollinates a Hass, and even the Carmen Hass pollinates a Hass. All right, I think I'm good. Have you noticed Gem avocados being heat tolerant? My Reed looks great, but my Gems looks a little bare. So I'm gonna start off by saying that on Zutano, on seedling rootstock, which the leading variety that they use in California is Zutano. Zutano seedling rootstock. There's an expected failure rate of 10 to 15%. So if you feel like that you have a gem that hasn't really been growing well, that again, because gem is heat tolerant. Gem is heat tolerant. So maybe not initially, again, depending, but these right here, these are ready to go. I'm comfortable with these. And what's going to be the bigger tell is going to be the thickness of the trunk. Again, sometimes they're less than pencil thin. That's a little too vulnerable. I'd rather come in pinky thick or index finger thick. The thicker, the better. Always. So you might need to protect it. You might need to throw some half shade. But yeah, even young gems at 90. Here in the Central Coast, our highs are like 90s. They do want to struggle, but again, I catch them. You have to learn how to read your tree. When they're folded up like that, your tree's properly hydrated. When they splay flat and droop down, that's when your tree needs some help. And then you can water for sure, but then after a while, if you're going through a heat wave, don't just keep watering the root ball, just actually just wet the foliage. Okay, yes, hasn't grown much. Gwen, Jan, Boyce, and Reed are taking off. What you could do then on your more established Gwens, Jan, Boyce, and Reed, you can take a piece of budwood and jump it over onto your Gwen, Jan, Boyce, or Reed. Make one of those a multi-graft and you'll still preserve a scion budwood of the gem. When you graft it, this is a trick. They'll tell you to line it up, but if you miss, because they say that the cambium layer is fractions of a millimeter, if you miss, the whole thing's a dud. So what I do to bring up my success rate to like well over 90%, I'll slightly kick it out. I'll slightly kick it out, and right here where there's a void, it'll callus over. And then again over here, there's a void, but it'll callus over. But in slightly kicking it out, you've guaranteed an intersection point right there on the left, the left side. And then on the inside right side, there's also an intersecting point. That's going to increase your graft rate. Again, I'm not failing. Okay, I don't want to say 100%, but again, I've gone 7 for 7, 5 for 5, 8 for 8. I'm not missing. Gem does very well here. Yeah, typically Gem does well. But again, expected failure rate on Zutano seedling rootstock is a high 10 or 15%. So in situations like that, I just assume that it's an underdeveloped root system, and then I move on. I don't beat myself up. I don't beat myself up too much, you know? But I also have access to tons of trees. Tons of trees. So I understand some people are heavily invested. They travel, they went a long way to get their trees, or they ordered online. But just know that some will fail. Don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. Go again. Unfortunately, you might have to go again. But again, if you have some that are already established, I would go multi-graft for sure. But again, that's me. I have the grafting part for avocado maintenance. I have the grafting part down. So and see, maybe in transport, a few leaves wilt. But yeah, another way to keep your root ball cool is to mulch heavily. Mulch heavily, and then also depending on how tight your soil is, because a lot of people think they water, but it actually runs off. Make sure that drainage is proper. Make sure that and then also half mound up, half above the grade. I half bury. I half berry. And then again, premium potting soil, compost free, no wood byproduct that has yet to decompose. Light and fluffy. So what you want to do is you want to clench a ball of soil, let it go, and you just want it to crumble and fall apart. That's how you know that your soil is soft enough, because avocado roots initially are known to like not be able to penetrate, especially if it's drying up and you're not driving water down. Okay, raised bed premium soil, 60% shade in Arizona. Yeah, you're doing everything right. You're doing everything right, which is leaning me to think that it might be an underdeveloped root system. And the way I mitigate that is by when I go to the nursery, I'll see the tree line. 50, a lot of 50, 100 trees. I'll see the tree line where it's at. And I want a super performer. I want one that's showing me either dense, foliage dense, lateral branches, or height well above, sometimes even a foot or 18 inches above the rest of the tree line. But I'm selecting premium trees. But again, over time, you'll train your eye, you'll develop. And then, of course, thickness and girth is always a good indicator. So hand water every day. That, I mean, I know that you're going through some heat waves, but that also might be excessive, and then it might be presenting the ideal conditions for root rot. So what you want to do is maybe get your tree on a systemic fertilizer. Get it either on some liquid cop, that's a general fertilizer, or Monterey's Garden Foss or Mag Foss, whatever. I don't think I have it. Hold on. This is a general fertilizer, but if you go with one, don't go with the other. Okay, but I think commercially they probably use, or more common I've seen, is going to be the liquid cop. You'll see it because it has that blue. And then, but yeah, look at this brand Monterey. And again, the Foss Mag or Garden Foss, something like that, is going to be, it's going to list specifically the Phytophthora, the root rot disease. But again, this is more of a general general fungicide, but the other one is going to be formulated to target the root rot disease. But again, if you go with one, don't be crossing over and using both. Stick with one for sure. But yeah, you shouldn't be watering every day. I water anywhere between 7 or 10 days. But again, I'm cool Central Coast, but I mulch to basically not water as much because they do not like to sit wet. And then also every seedling is going to behave different when it comes to watering. Some of them are going to tolerate wet feet, and then some of them are not. The reason why I say that is because we're in Watsonville. We're in Watsonville. I was originally from Watsonville. I have people out in Watsonville. And again, that's the Pajaro Valley, and it's Watsonville, and then south of Watsonville is Pajaro. Pajaro has flooded like every decade since I've been alive, once every decade. And they have avocado seedlings out there that again the root system have been underwater for days. And then I myself know of several lamb houses that are near a lake that again they're submerged for the entire summer. When the lake level rises, this particular lamb has floods, and again it survives. So it's not necessarily that they can't tolerate, I mean, some rootstocks can't tolerate water, but again, every rootstock is genetically different. And then, but most importantly, I think if you spray systemic fungicide, you'll be better off. Liberty on the land. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Check it out, bro. These are 2 gems. These were requested. And they're like in the 3-gallon grow sleeves. Southern California. Some nice 15s came through too. And if you've been following, I just uploaded those on a short. But yeah, I want to say these are all from the growing grounds in Fallbrook, California. Again, because I've seen that consistency of soil down there. It's gonna be sandy, minerally heavy. But again, nice trees. Both about a yard in height. Have a thick layer of mulch to conserve moisture and protect the roots. Yeah, for sure. Right here, I use the untreated redwood sawdust from my local landscape supply company. There's 2 of them. You basically fill your own buckets. And I'll do 5 gallons of mulch. Maybe 4 to 6 inches. Yeah, and protect the roots. Yeah, run a systemic fungicide. Systemic means that it's going to be running through basically the tree's system. All right, let's keep going. Good questions. Let me just keep painting. But yeah, those are excellent questions. Yeah, you got this, John. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go see your operation one day for sure. And also, if you see central leaders, if you see dominating leads, it'll basically keep other limbs kind of wimpy. You might need to check dominating leads. Okay, I just pinch. I'm not going to pinch this one, but if you see that it's leaning towards one way versus the other, for sure some limbs are exercising dominance, stealing all the growth vigor. You might need to check it. Either pinch or pinch and rotate your tree, because it might be that that side is giving them maximum exposure, and that's why they're winning. But again, if it's planted in the ground, there's no way you're rotating your tree. So I check vigorous limbs by pinching. And then you want to do that just to get it dense. Because when it's grafted, the budwood is sexually mature. Meaning it thinks it's on a big tree. It thinks it's on a mature tree. Again, it'll flower every year, and sometimes that might even stress it. So thinking that it's on a mature tree, sometimes in between nodes there might be a little lanky, and that can be overexposing them. So what I do is I'll pinch them so that I get multi-shoot and maximize coverage. Again, I want like a dense little bush initially, especially to protect it from the sun. Yeah, for sure. That's gonna Pinching is going to be the best way to shape your tree. Second is going to be bend, but I want to avoid hard pruning a young tree. I've stunted a young tree when I've hard pruned, because the Colombian and the Mexican growers, they just basically count off 4 limbs and hard prune. However, their trees were much more established. And then I just did it to a recently planted 5. I counted off 4 limbs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 for each direction, and then basically hard prune the central leader. And it took a while. It took 2 or I want to say 2 or like around 2 or 3 years to finally wake up and come back around. It was just, I shocked it maybe. Raider 1978, what up, big dog? Big dog's gotta eat. Aquí andamos, bro. Aquí andamos con el jam. Again, GEM like a precious stone. The label's upside down. But this is poised to replace Haas, bro. If you haven't tried one, go out and try one, bro. You're closer to him. If you're in LA, you're gonna be closer to him. San Diego, and then San Diego, northern San Diego County, Fallbrook, and then Ventura County. Where else? I'm forgetting all my little avocado growing pockets. But yeah, growing grounds, Southern California for sure. I like your videos. Appreciate the support, bro. Appreciate the support. Yeah, I have a all the major cities back me up, bro. LA, Mexico, China, like cities in India. So I'm gonna get to all the major cities for sure. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. But again, my number one recommendation on establishing young trees, the necessary evil is to paint your tree. Again, it's gonna help with extremes high and lows. In the summer is a sunblock, and in the winter it serves as a blanket, a thin little blanket. But again, on paper, I want to say they say jam 32 degrees, and then again a well-established tree well in the 100 and teens, 115, 112, 113. But I know I've seen them survive hail and snow where it sticks around for a couple hours, and it just basically kept growing unfazed, even set fruit. Thanks for all the great info. I'm in Ventura County. I see a lot of gem plantings. I'm just getting in the growing fruit trees myself. Hey, welcome to the community. Appreciate the support. Yeah, bro, it's a good hobby. And then for again, I'm a business major, and they say turn your hobbies and obsessions into your sources of income. And I said say less. So again, this is one of them. But again, you guys hear the accordion music, Dragon Ball, I'm with everything cool, bro. If it ain't cool, I'm not with it. But yeah, it's gonna be avocados, fruit trees in general, Western wear. Again, I'm from Guanajuato. Saludos a Guanajuato. So Western wear. I've already spec'd out and designed boots. I'm gonna do Western pearl snaps. But yeah, the color green. The color green is my obsession. Again, the color of the trade. Y los colores de la casa for sure. But yeah, I only design in one color. I only design Western wear in one color, green, because those are the colors of the trade. The avocado, and not a general landscaper, I'm a fruit scaper. But again, I use the Western pearl snaps because of the pockets. I need the pockets for the grafting. I put the landscaper ties in my chest pockets or grafting knives for sure. So yeah, where we at? It was avocados, accordions, Dragon Ball, skateboarding for sure. I'm gonna do a couple skateboards and just shoot them. Western wear, that's 5. But anyways, they said 5 to 10. I went to business school, they said 5 to 10, preferably diverse. Preferably diverse. So turn your hobbies into your sources of income so that it feels that you're never working. You're just simply doing what you like. So just grind away, bro. At first, you know, some people are gonna hate and be like, yeah, you can't do it. But just keep going, bro. Just keep going. Believe in yourself, bro. I don't gamble, bro. I gamble on myself. So I'm not gonna put a bet on another man. No way. Hell no. I'm gonna put that bet on myself every single time. Every single time, bro. So all right, this one's good. This one's good. Just now the lower limbs. Then we're gonna go over to the next one. But yeah, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Fear paralyzes you. So and for sure, I'm not knocking a man if you're working 40, that's cool, bro. Hold it down. I know you need to feed your family, but again, always keep digging, bro. Keep grinding, keep hustling, trying to find your own way. Do I grow any citrus? Yeah, I have the caracara, the caracara, the caracara, caracara. I don't know, bro. I'm bilingual, but yeah, I have the pink orange, and then I got into the ooh, the meiwa. The meiwa, the little grape size citrus. I like those, bro, for sure. What paint is that? This is the Go Natural Tree Paint, Tree Trunk White, but I dropped my own pigment in it, bro. I grabbed it from the garden center and I walked it over to the paint department and they did the dad slippers on it. And that's the sample color right there. But again, for a more natural look. Especially me, bro, with some high-end clients. These are multi-million-dollar homes, bro. You do not want a whitewash tree looking all awkward, bro. So this is more of a high-end look for my high-end clients. They really like it. They really appreciate it, bro. It's almost kind of faux, like natural. But yeah, I really should be packaging this and labeling this. And that should be a product I should sell. Because they haven't been making it. Or they do a tree trunk brown. But in my point of view, that's too dark. I keep it khaki. I keep it light, again, to increase the reflectivity. So I want it to reflect and deflect the heat, not really absorb. For sure, for sure. Big dreams, bro. Big dreams for the community. But the idea it was first is think local, grow global. So right now, again, the 831 Salinas, Watsonville, Santa Cruz, local community gardens, bro. I'm doing gem seedlings. And then I go back to them and I graft them. Again. I went international business major. They said integrate a give back portion part of your business because they said the American consumer is a sucker for causes. They want to believe that their money is doing good. Okay, so much so that people fake doing good. But I don't fake doing good. I'm really out there. I'm really out there in all the local community gardens, schools, Life Lab, and then guerrilla growing in public infrastructure. It's like a little tick, bro. It's like I describe it like because I've hung out with graffiti artists. If a graffiti artist sees a wall, he wants to get up. Boom, he wants to, put down his placazo. But me, if I see a planter, bro, if I see a planter where a tree has failed and there's a host bib nearby, I'm thinking, boom, I could put an avocado seedling right there and then come back and then graft it. And I could keep an eye on it and I could grow avocados. I take dumb ways home, bro. I take the long way home just to cruise all my avocados, bro. So I take dumb ways home just to peek and scope out my avocados. Make sure they're on the up. Everything's on the up. 831 is Northern Central Coast, Monterey Bay. I'm from Watsonville. I was born in Watsonville. I've lived out in Salinas, and I now reside in Santa Cruz. I settled down and had my family right here in Santa Cruz, California, where the boardwalk is, bro. Santa Cruz is known for the boardwalk. The Santa Cruz Red Dot, the skating brand, and or O'Neill's surf shops too, the wetsuits. Gorilla gardening, yeah, bro. There's so much space, bro. I'm by the entrance of hiking trails. So there's like a bunch of space where I can grow them. And again, I grow gem seeds. So 5 generations down from the original Hass. Gem is Hass's great granddaughter. 4 generations down from the original Hass. I'm going 5 generations. I'm going with gem seeds. 5 generations down from the original Hass. Again, constantly improving. And again, I always pair gem with other self-fruitful type A's just to isolate and intensify the precociousness gene, the self-fruitfulness, the compactness. And the idea is that I want to get up on the scoreboard. I want to patent and register a variety, bring one home for the town, for the Ville. Right here, 831. That's cool. It's just, again, when I went to business school and they said get into your hobbies, obsessions, I'm like, all right, say less, bro, say less. Because I've always been like into hobbies. I get deep into shit, bro. I get like, I go all in, bro. I go all in. So yeah, when they say, hey man, get into your hobbies, turn them into your sources of income, I'm like, hold my beer, I'll be back. And then this is what I'm showcasing right here on the channel. And it's growing, bro. It's growing. Thank you all for showing up. But yeah, thank you everyone for smashing that like. It really supports. And yeah, bro, I'm gonna go all of California for sure. I'm going to go all of California. And then hablo español, so you know que vamos a ir a México, Colombia, Chile, Perú, boom, Guatemala y El Salvador también. Do I prefer the taste of gem over Hass? All right, so I worked at a packaging plant, bro, where we would run both gem and Hass. That's why I started with this. I felt privy to some private information. When we would go gem, less than like anywhere between less than 15 to 12% would go second grade cosmetically challenged. Gem does a really good job of hiding its crop under its skirts. And it was just so beautiful, bro. I basically eat the fruit with my eyes, bro. The fruit was so beautiful. And then I slice it open, and on a blind test is indistinguishable from a Hass. On a blind test. Then we switch over to Hass. We would run Hass, and then Hass wants to dangle it on the edge of its canopy, resulting in sun scalding. And so basically 40 to 45% was cosmetically challenged, what they call second grade guac. The consumer doesn't see it. It gets sold to processing plants and or chefs who are gonna cut it up. And I just was like, what? Like all that damage, and this fruit is undersized, is smaller. The more common sizes, the 3 more common sizes on a Hass, it was gonna go maybe small, medium, and large. And when we switch over to gem, it goes extra large, colossal, monster, big 1-pound fruits, easily 1-pound fruits. And so when I saw that, when you bite into a gem, bro, it's just like beautiful. Yeah. Again, I'm not knocking Palo de Oro. I mean, I have knocked it in the past, but I don't mean it like that. But I'm just saying like I know the consumer's picky, and I know that it's green. The Palo de Oro is green ripening, and then it has those dark blotchy spots sometimes. That's gonna deter people from buying it. So again, I'm with beautiful fruit, but again, the taste is there. So again, Palo de Oro maybe for backyard growers, but in terms of commercial potential, I know that it's gonna definitely be lacking behind a gem for sure. The gem is gonna be far superior, and then fruit set on a gem too. It'll self thin, but almost every flower will become a fruit set. And then after a while, the fruit starts to compete amongst itself, and then it'll kind of self thin. But still, it's highly precocious, less alternate bearing. It really wants to go. Pabs, you're in San Jose? I'll get to you, bro. I've already done a couple of drop-offs to community gardens in San Jose. Look up gem seedlings in San Jose, and I've already did like 3 or 4, but there's so many of them out there that I'll drop off more seedlings. But again, I like to tag the city because that's how sooner rather than later I start to pop off in the city. I hashtag the city, I set the location at the name of the city, and then inquiries start coming in. Hey, I want a tree. Hey, I want a grafting job. Hey, you do other fruit. I do other fruit. The other fruit that I do is pluots and apriums. So yeah, basically tagging different cities serves as a marketing, and it really helps get the word out about my services. Again, I'll sell you a tree outright and or plant it for you or graft your existing seedling. I picked up a gem. I traveled for work and my wife didn't do a good job of watering it when I was gone, but I have been babying it and it starts to come back. It'll come back. It'll come back stronger. For sure. I haven't suffered many setbacks, but still, gem, I know if there's any little limb that was left. So, oh yeah, initially we would only get long planter sleeves. And I'll show you a long planter sleeve. I was putting long planter sleeves down, and like half of them would suffer setbacks. Anyways, those trees have now bounced back and are probably better than the ones that didn't suffer a setback, honestly, because they'll thicken up right away. The trunk would just fatten up. But yeah, it'll be back. If you saved it, it'll be back. The only thing I'm recommending is for the first 2 years, take off either the flower or the fruit set. I kind of let it run the motion of fruit set a little bit, but then I take it off. Again, the reason why I leave the flower and run the motion of fruit set is because I'm training other pollinators to the environment that the gem is around, that it's a source of food. And so I'm basically inviting them to come around. My 4-year-old gem loaded hundreds of baby fruit. It's 4 feet, 8 feet wide. Hey, I'm keeping them short too. I'm running them wider than taller too. Again, I want to keep the fruit within our arm's reach, a 2-step up ladder at most. A little stool or a 2-step up ladder, but I want everything happening from the ground. And again, commercially, they're going high density. They're planting them as close as 8 feet, I want to say. 8 or 10 feet. And that's going to be better for managing any foliar application, any harvesting, troubleshooting. Roberto Argueta, beautiful tree. You have one, bro. But yeah, everyone stay tuned, bro. I'm in a gem avocado sleeve giveaway for sure. Fourth or fifth annual. I forget fourth. I want to say fourth annual. Your gem is a brocard tree, super strong tree. It fruited crazy, bro. It's a year old. It had like 30 babies on it. I took the fruit off except for 2. All right. If it's again, I've seen that. I've seen some that do hold fruit. 15 on a good vegetative season. Then the following, I've seen them hold fruit. But just keep an eye on them. What you want is you want the fruit to be thickening, and then you still want to see red flushes. You still want it to be able to grow vegetatively, and then you still want the fruit to be thickening. If you see the fruit thickening but you're not seeing vegetative growth, it might be stressing. So just keep an eye on it. Just keep an eye on it for sure. But congrats on your fruit set for sure. Do you recommend any type of foliar spray for the gem? The preventative maintenance. Liquid cop. That's about it. I don't foliar feed. I top dress. I scratch in 3 inches at the tree's drip line. EB Stone Organics and Citrus Food. And then I used to previously use Dr. Earth Fruit Tree Fertilizer, but they're saying that the company owner passed away. I'm not sure. The website claims they still exist, but then you go to like local specialty nurseries and they say they are no longer able to get Dr. Earth's. However, you go to big box stores, Costco, and then several of the other, maybe Home Depot, they still have the general. They have the general fertilizer, but I'm no longer seeing the fruit tree fertilizer. But yeah, it's EB Stone. Another one is GB Organics. Again, citrus, anything formulated for citrus is cross-compatible with avocado because they're both evergreen. And you want to feed that constant foliage. So the leading ratio is going to be what, nitrogen? Again, to sustain that vegetative growth. Yeah, the EB Stone, and then the EB Stone citrus and fruit tree food, and then I pair it with its bloom enhancer, the Ultra Bloom, which if you read the product specs will also detail and mention that it helps sustain fruit set. So again, first 2 years, EB Stone citrus and fruit tree food, and then on the 3rd year when I want it to hold, then I start pairing it with its Ultra Bloom and expecting it and pressuring it to produce. I want production after its 3rd year in ground. I'm feeding like 8 ounces. So a red cup is gonna be 16 ounces. The first 2 years I'm gonna go 8 ounces every month. However, I think it's formulated and specced out to do I think 8 ounces per inch every 2 months. However, I just half dose and come in more consistently because again, the fertilizer after 2 months, I feel like it's gonna be kind of spent. So I just keep refreshing it every month, and I'm seeing that it just keeps pushing. Because again, if you're like in again grow zone 9B where you could potentially face a cold snap, you want to head into winter as big as possible so that the tree is able to defend itself. But again, this also helps with the extreme lows, the cold snaps. But yeah, you're always trying to head into winter as big as possible. Yeah, for sure. Just poquito, bro. 8 ounces, half a red cup. I go half a red cup. Ya le tanteo, I eyeball it. And yeah, I've been chatting more than painting, but appreciate the conversation, bro. Appreciate the time. Any questions? I'm gonna be doing more of these. But yeah, you guys already know this was a good time. This was a good input. This was a good time. A lot of people tuned in, so appreciate the support. 10A, I believe. So I believe what your extremes are going to be more extreme, right? I would do a frost cloth if I have to, because again, I'm always trying to push them. I'm thinking my number one would be frost cloth. Throw a frost cloth over it. You could even, if it's so wet, you could even do a bag, a big commercial bag, like, right? Just try not to come in contact with the foliage. So either several stakes, then throw the bag over, then throw the frost cloth over. If it's an extreme low, maybe even Christmas lights. Christmas lights. So yeah, bag and frost cloth. So bag and frost cloth, like a greenhouse effect. Then Christmas lights, and then third, I'm pitching a fire, like a bonfire. I'm pitching a bonfire and kicking it with my tree, and we're just basically keeping it warm. And then also you won't see the full low sometimes if it's between a fence or a wall or a building wall. You won't see the lows. But yeah, I've panicked initially where, again, there was a cold winter I think 2 years ago, where I was trying to scramble, throw frost cloths over all my clients' trees. I was probably only able to get to half of them. I finally gave up. The night caught up to me, and next morning I called everyone, and everyone was good. Again, maybe when it's younger, play it on the safer side. But in the Santa Cruz Mountains, I have these trees surviving snow. And then I always reference Johnny's World. Johnny's World, he's another YouTuber who documents his avocado growth. And there was a year that, again, that year that it snowed in LA 2 or 3 years ago, two, I want to say. And then again, or not just LA, Southern California. But again, his trees not only survived, they also bloomed and set fruit. So I feel like we're able to grow them where we previously didn't think was possible. I get good results with the 511. Yeah. Again, initially, to establish the tree, the leading ratio should be higher than nitrogen. Then a turn, 180-degree turn, and then again finish it off. Yeah, Johnny's World, yeah. Once I seen his tree survive snow, I knew it was on. I started plugging them right here in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Again, 2,400 feet in elevation. Shout out to John. He has gems up there. Now seeing, again, he harvested some this year, but then they're loaded again. And that's pretty much gonna be a wrap. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Yes, Stuba, bro. Calling it a night myself. And then I'm doing a grafting job tomorrow. I'm doing pluots and apriums on stone fruit trees. I think either a peach or a nectarine or maybe a plum. But yeah, stay tuned. That video will be out tomorrow, and then also dropping these off. I'm delivering trees tomorrow for sure. To Salinas, California. Yeah, I still will, bro. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Raider, the 1978 Raider. Thank you for the support. Thank you for tuning in. Y aquí vamos a estar, bro. Aquí vamos a estar. That's the Carmen Haas right there. Again, whitewashed. But yeah, gem is gonna be quality and size, and that's gonna be quantity. Again, I'm seeing more fruit set on her fall bloom, on its second flowering. But yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Good night. More grafting, planting videos coming soon. Stay tuned. Ahí les encargo, bro, porfa. Peace. Gem all the way for sure, Pabs. Gem. Peace.